Welcome to the series Employee Health Services, Mind, Body, and Spirit. Employee Health is a section in the City of Albuquerque's Risk Management Division. Its mission is to promote a sense of community and increase wellness among city employees and their families by providing education and counseling about physical and mental health. And now, Mind, Body, and Spirit with Dr. Julia Bain.
Hello, this is Dr. Julia Bain, and welcome to Mind, Body, and Spirit. And we have a very special program today. We have members of TOPS with us, Take Off Pounds Sensibly, a fabulous weight loss organization, and they're going to tell you all about it. Patricia Rael, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Captain of New Mexico TOPS.
Area captain.
Area captain, appreciate that. And we have Lillian, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce your last name. Onleiter. Welcome to the show, Lillian.
Thank you.
So glad you're here.
Thank you.
TOPS, since 1942? 1948.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell us about your history, your mission, what you do, how you help members of our community take off pounds sensibly. It is kind of part of the medical model. You work with people's physicians. It's very healthy. It's very regulated, modulated, formal. I love it. Tell us all about it.
Well, in 1948, Esther Mance in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was 5 months pregnant. She was 5'2", and she weighed 200 pounds. So she'd been going to pregnancy classes. Then they would have, not like we have now, not like the prenatals, but just kind of like a little support group of pregnant women. And she decided that maybe that same thing would work for weight. So she got 4 of her friends, and they had their first meeting. And then the Milwaukee newspaper wrote an article, and they had so many people that came to the community center that they could barely walk through the room. Then she started with her little bag and her hat.
There was a need.
Oh yes, there was a bag. She had a little bag, and she always wore a hat, and she had her. Well, in those days, women did. They wore gloves too, and it had her scale and all her notebooks with the different groups. She would ride the bus to the groups to weigh them in, and she would just carry it with her, and then it just gradually grew. We have about 9,000 chapters approximately. We have Canada, we have England, we have the United States. I think we have one in Australia. We had more when we were more active military, where they sent the whole family, because of course it was the spouses that went. So we had them in Germany and all over because they needed the support. So our mission is to support our members as they lose weight and keep it off sensibly. And our vision is that we'll help everybody to get a healthy weight so that, they can be well.
And feel good. And
feel good and be able to do things they want to do.
Exactly.
Because weight is very restrictive, after a point. And it limits your activities, it limits your family activities, it limits what you can do with your children and grandchildren.
Exactly.
And of course they say overweight people are paid less.
Wow.
In a lot of instances, because they see you as, I don't know if it's not as worthy or not as valuable as the people who aren't overweight. So there's a lot, and of course all the health issues.
Absolutely, and sometimes some people in our society don't realize that beauty is on the inside.
Right.
When somebody is truly, truly beautiful, it comes from within.
Right.
That being said, you can feel really beautiful on the inside, but it also helps you to feel beautiful on the inside when you feel on the outside like you're friends with your body, and like you can move, and that you do feel good,
right.
And your clothes feel good, and you look good, and it's just it's just part of it. But the point is that I really want to stress and make during this program is beauty lies within.
Right.
Without a doubt, because I have met some people who are beautiful on the outside and they are wicked.
Right. Well, there's both.
Because
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not, like you say, it's not how you appear. But for you yourself, it's difficult unless you're one of those that's decided, well, that's how it is, and because you failed so many times, you don't want to try again. But deep down
People become
inside,
discouraged.
I think most people, or many people, don't want to be heavy. You know, they want to be healthy. They want to be able to do, but there's a lot of baggage, and they have to learn the path. And that's what TOPS does. It helps support you. We have a private weigh-in.
Learn the path. I love that expression.
Yeah, we have to. You know, we have a private weigh-in every week, so you get your accountability, because you're not accountable to yourself. If you were, you wouldn't be overweight, because when you stepped on the scale the first time and you were up 5 pounds, you would have done something about it.
Ruh-roh, right?
So, you know, and then
I get on the scale about 3 times a week myself.
Right.
Just because it can inch, a couple pounds, couple ounces, and that's when I know.
Right.
Okay, so fruit for lunch today.
Well, of course, there's 2 theories on it. There's the one where you weigh daily to monitor, and then there's the one where you weigh once a week, and then there's actually 3. The third newest one is that you measure your waist. So, you know, it depends on what works with you and your doctor. And I mean, some people aren't frightened by those things, you know, but when your pants start to be too tight, you go, oh, wait a minute. And of course, that's one of the things we have at TOPS. Your doctor sets your goal, and once you make your goal and become keep Off Pounds Sensibly, they have a leeway. They're allowed to go 3 pounds up, 7 pounds under, and they still are a COPS. So, you know, we recognize as an organization that you're not going to stay at 120. You might be 122 one day, you might be 115 the next.
Yeah, plus water weight, you know, things fluctuate. Plus there's Thanksgiving. Speaking of pants, you brought a pair.
I did.
Would you show us?
These are the first pair of pants that I wore to my first meeting.
Okay, this is so dramatic.
It is. And they were tight.
And they were tight. You don't look like that large of a woman now. What size pants are those?
These are 16.
And they were tight.
And they were tight.
And what size pants do you wear now?
An 8.
Holy smokes! Will you tell us what you weigh now?
Sure. I weigh 155.
That's about what I weigh. Yeah, and you feel a lot better too.
Oh my goodness. I've gotten my life back through lifestyle changes. I am now able to dance. I dance.
You were saying earlier that you do Zumba almost every day?
6 days a week.
And
I take Sunday off.
That is so much fun. And you go out dancing with your husband?
We do country western.
Nice.
So I can dance all day long if I really wanted to.
Did you dance when you had those pants on?
Oh my goodness, no. I could barely walk a mile when I first started. I would walk a mile and I was so exhausted. And then I worked up to 5 miles a day.
How did you do it? How did you do it, Lily?
Attending the meetings are so important to get that support.
Yeah.
Changing your mindset. Changing how you think about food.
And about yourself. Like I told you I might break out into song, right? You are so beautiful to me, can't I see? Sometimes we have to see ourselves as beautiful.
Yes.
You know, number one, we have to know that it's so important to be best friends with ourselves.
Yes. And it's kind of hard to do when you feel like food is controlling you. You need to get back and think about what you need to be eating to nourish your body. Not to, just because you're tired or you're upset, don't eat because of that. And
Comfort food. I think we've all referred to food as comfort food. I know I certainly have.
Right.
And I know I certainly have been much, much heavier than I am right now. And I know why. I wasn't paying attention to what I was eating. I was using food as comfort, as a, you know, when you eat, it feels good.
Right.
You know, it's nourishing, it feels good, it tastes good. There's so many positive things about food. And like you were saying earlier, Pat, you know, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, those are all things that we can just stop, you know.
You don't have to have to live.
Right, but food is different. Talk more about that.
Well, food is a necessary part of life, and you have to learn to take charge of it. You have to learn what works for you. Currently, we're partnering with a Dr. Michelle May, who wrote a book called Eat What You Love, Love What You Eat.
You were telling me about that.
Right. She has a website called amihungry.com. And if you go in there and you take the test, it'll tell you whether you're an intuitive eater, which are the healthy weight people, because they know they're hungry or they're not, and they stop. And they know that chocolate isn't a food group. And they
Really?
Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? And they eat, a little bit, or, they don't go overboard. Then you have what they call the restrictive eater. They go from one restrictive diet to another. They don't think of it as an eating plan. They think of it, well, when I lose my weight, I don't have to do that anymore. I can eat whatever I want. And then you have the overeaters who just eat all the time. Lots of stuff, too much. A lot of times it's just portion size. It's not that they're eating bad things, but they're eating lots of good things.
They're not paying attention to
Yeah, they're not mindful. They'll get to their plate and they'll be eating, and all of a sudden it's empty. And they don't know how it got there.
Like Maurice Chevalier said, and I love this quote, why eat when you can dine?
A lot of people take, like their good china, and they never use it. But some people get their smaller china plate, and they get a fancy wine glass and their silver that they sit there and only bring out at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and they make it a dining meal. They might put a flower in a little vase. Something to make it.
Celebrate it. Celebrate eating. It could be your last meal. So instead of shoveling it in and doing 5 things at once and watching TV and talking on the phone, and pay attention to how fabulous food is. Make friends with food and honor it. Honor it and respect it, and take your time. Take your time.
Yeah, and you need to not think of what you're doing as a diet. You need to think of it as an eating plan.
Nice.
This is what you're going to do for life. So you're not going to pick one food probably and eat that until your last day. So you need to arrange your plan around what you and your medical professional decide that you should be eating.
Yeah, I really respect the fact that you all work with physicians, because for some people, obesity is a matter of life and death.
Right, and many, the longer you are overweight, the more likely you're to develop the diabetes, the high blood pressure, the high cholesterol, and all the other related health things. And many of the conditions will reverse when you lose your weight. And you can reduce your medication or stop taking it. One of our members in my group had sleep apnea that needed to be treated. And when she lost her weight, she didn't anymore. There's a set point where, her throat started to collapse at night, but it doesn't anymore.
Wow.
So, it's made life a lot easier for her.
And quality of life, really that's what it's all about. If I think everyone's goal is to enjoy life. And part of that can be about eating.
Right.
Tell us another. Are you going to sing a song or do one of your pledges or something that you were talking about earlier?
Should we do our pledge?
Oh, we can do our pledge.
We can do our pledge. How about we do both of them?
I can't say the COPS one.
I'll say the COPS one.
Okay. I am an intelligent person. I will control my emotions and not let my emotions control me. Every time I am tempted to use food to satisfy my frustrated desires, build up my injured ego, or dull my senses, I will remember, even though I overeat in private, my excess poundage is there for all the world to see. I will take Off Pounds Sensibly.
Sorry.
Yes! Hooray!
She went into the other one.
And then COPS, keeping off pounds sensibly.
Okay.
When you meet your goal prescribed by your doctor,
Okay.
is I am an intelligent person. I have controlled my emotions and not let my emotions control me. Every time I'm tempted to use food to satisfy my frustrations. Oh, I'm forgetting Build up my injured ego or dull my senses. I will remember that I am to be an example of what TOPS can do as I keep off pounds sensibly. And all of the members
clap.
Yeah, we all clap.
I want to pledge for everybody, for the world, for life. I am going to live my life, and I'm going to work on that for my next show.
Excellent.
I'm going to start my next show with my pledge for how to lead a good life. How inspiring.
It is, and of course it tells the story. We have the TOPS pledge that everybody says together, and then the TOPS who are not COPS sit down. The remaining COPS in the chapter stand up and they get to say the COPS pledge.
Oh, okay.
And that every year when they graduate, they have a choice. They can graduate in their chapter, or, well, they have three things. They can go to the State Recognition Day. We have that once a year. This year it's in June, and our president's coming this year. And they can graduate there. We have, mortarboards and everything. They walk across the stage. They get certificates.
That makes it so meaningful.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
And then they do what we call a circle of light. All the cops have a flashlight, and they get in this circle, and then they darken the room, and they encircle the people, the other ones that are tops, and then they turn on their flashlights as a symbol that they're all around us. So it's really, and when they do it internationally, they do the same thing, and there are several thousand people in this circle. It's really amazing.
It's very dramatic. I like
it is. And we do the awards and the contests, things to encourage members to enjoy and to learn. We have programs.
And to make it fun and not so serious.
Oh.
You want to show the picture of where you look very regal in your gown?
Yes.
When where was that ceremony?
Las Cruces, wasn't it?
Las Cruces.
Right.
I was a division winner.
Here, turn it towards Randy.
I was a division winner, second place division winner for the most weight loss in 1 year.
Nice.
Last
And
year.
how much was it?
I believe it was at about 26 or 27 pounds.
That's
I
a lot
don't remember.
of weight. That is a lot of weight. You hold 26 pounds in your hands and you think, oh my gosh, this came off on my body. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what she means by division is we're divided into divisions, weight spans, so that you're competing in the division against similar people. Because like if I lose weight, I would be more likely to lose more than she would lose. So it wouldn't be fair to have me losing, and us competing for the division awards. The other thing we have that's different is we have a division called Division 9, and it is for people who've had weight loss surgery. Now, they can't be international king or queen, but they need support because people think, oh, I'm going to have weight loss surgery. That's the end of it. It's only the beginning.
Yeah.
You have a stomach like this, and you have to get all the nutrients you need. And a lot of them gain it back because the stomach's a muscle, and it just stretches right back out if they've left the stomach. Now, if they do the full one where then it doesn't. But, they need support too.
Well, yeah, because it's tough eating dinner, which turns into like something like 4 tablespoons. You have to figure out how to,
Right.
you know.
So they need people to be there for them to help them with the support,
So you help everyone.
We do, and people.
No one is turned away. You were telling me
as
about
long as
your
they're
age,
7 or over.
7 years old.
Yeah, because we recognize, of course, that they're saying these current generations are going to be the first one that lives a shorter time than their parents
Because of obesity.
because of obesity and all the health-related
Holy
issues.
smokes.
And New Mexico in 2010, the last figures the federal government's put out, had a 25.1% obesity rate for the state.
And to qualify as obese, how overweight do you have to be?
I think it maybe even be as little as 10%. They're talking not morbidly obese, but overweight. And of course, part of the kids is they don't have gym much anymore. And they also have all that stuff they offer in the cafeteria,
Right.
that isn't necessary. It's all processed stuff, a lot of it, and it's not conducive to weight loss.
Exactly.
And they're, of course, more sedentary at home. They have computers, they have video games, they aren't out with their bike
Need to
and
get out
running
and play.
Like back in the day.
Right.
I was always on my bike.
Well, we didn't have too much, skates and all those things we
Right.
did.
Pogo sticks.
Whatever, but
Does anybody have a pogo stick anymore?
yes,
I
they
don't
came
know.
back
Did they?
again.
Did
Yeah,
they?
they came back again. Like scooters, only fancy. Scooters are much fancier than we were kids. You had to push them with your foot.
You know, one thing I could never do very well was that thing.
Oh
that
yeah, the
go
hula
around-
hoop.
Hula hoop. I could never do that very well.
Yeah, that involves a lot of coordination.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but that's we're sort of in the middle of the percentage because the states with the biggest, of course, are the southern states, with the gravy and the biscuits and the bacon fat and the green beans and
Oh, that sounds good.
It does, but hereditarily and culture-wise, it's not very much for losing weight. Then you get
You
down
can
to
eat that every now and again, right?
Correct.
yeah, just as long as you're not eating a table full of it. See, a lot of it is you need to change your eating plan, And most of the foods you eat are probably going to be okay in moderation. Now, if you had chocolate cake every night for dinner, that probably wouldn't be very good because you're not going to get any nutrients out of it.
Right.
But, you know, there's no reason why you couldn't have a reasonable size serving or a bite or whatever, but not all the time. Because if you deprive yourself, then one day you go, I have to have that.
Yeah,
and
this isn't fair.
And those are the people you see on TV with the half-gallon of ice cream and a spoon, you know. And, well, you may see it in your house, I don't know. But you know, you can't completely do some of that stuff. Now, like I said when we were talking earlier, you may have to eat some of it when you're not home. You may have to have a serving when you're out,
we were
or
talking
share.
about portion sizes at
Right.
restaurants and
Oh,
how
immense.
enormous. I mean,
I went to Iowa for I got my bachelor's degree, and it was a college in Iowa.
University of Iowa, Iowa City?
No, Clinton State. And I went up there.
Amish country.
And we stopped at this restaurant. My daughter was with me.
They know how to eat.
Well, and these people are having breakfast. Oh, that must be some kind of supersized breakfast. So we each ordered an omelet. It was like $5.99. So you'd think, what, 2 eggs? 8 eggs. 8 eggs. I have never seen such an immense plate of food in my life. And, you know, nobody needs to eat that much food.
My brother and my sister both went to the University of Iowa in Iowa City. And it was tradition when we
Right.
went up there to visit them or take them or pick them up that we would eat at the Amanas. They were called the Amana colonies. And it was just so much food.
Right.
But, you know, it was like part of the celebration, part of the, you know, part of the trip.
But part of what happens, too, is you lose your hunger full feelings because you're ignoring them. You're just eating and eating and eating, and after a point, you don't know if you're hungry or full, and so you're always planning your next meal. Okay, I'm having lunch. What am I going to have for my afternoon snack? You know, people who do intuitive eating don't realize
Don't become fixated
that a lot
like
of
that.
a lot of obese people do that.
Well, and I want you to tell us, and I don't mean to interrupt, but we only have 5 minutes.
Okay.
I want you to explain to us, since you're a cop, how do you maintain your weight? How do you do it? I mean, you do dance all the time and you move a lot, so movement is always good. So you burn calories, your metabolism is faster, your muscles are bigger, so you're just, you know, metabolically, you're better off. But in terms of eating, how do you maintain?
Really, going to the meetings helps me keep on track because I still weigh in.
Okay.
And so I am very careful as to what I choose to eat. My main meals are lean meat, even in the morning. I may have a chicken breast or half a chicken breast in the morning.
Yum.
Vegetables and fruit, and those are my mainstays. Now I do cheat every now and then. I love chocolate. So I will buy the little sugar-free chocolates, and I might have one a week just to satisfy that. But I really have to take charge constantly,
Like
and
your
it's a
pledge
lifestyle.
says.
Yes,
I am in charge of my emotions.
I'm in charge
my thoughts.
of my body and what I put into it, and I don't want to go back.
Well,
to
and part
these
of it's
tests.
part of it's the habit too.
Yes, it's a habit.
You know, because it's visual. You know, you learn because you think this is normal, and then after you've lost weight, you
That's
realize
a good
that's
point.
abnormal.
That's a very good
You
point.
know. Now, the other quick thing, there's 3 ways to have chapters. You can have a regular chapter, meets every week, and you can join online. And then if you decide you like it, you can change to a regular chapter.
Captain in New Mexico, we need to say what your number is.
My phone number is 505-690-0188. And my email is prael.nmac@live.com. And you can go to the website at tops.org.
Okay. That's a great website.
And find your meeting. And also we have business chapters which don't meet every week. So they can do it in their business. You know, you have an official weigh-in, they keep their chart, and at the end of the year you have an official weigh out.
Nice.
And that way, and it's only $28 a year plus minimal weekly dues at the chapter, like 50 cents or $1 or something. Most of them are not very much. That's used for awards.
You can afford that. I mean,
Yes.
what's more than that to buy a soda?
Right.
What's your phone number again?
505-690-0188.
Nice. We have a minute and a half. Final words of wisdom. Ladies, this has been a fabulous program. You certainly have inspired me, and I know you've inspired everybody watching this show. Final words of wisdom. Why don't you go first, Lily?
Oh, final words. You're worth it. You can do this. People are beautiful on the inside. You can take charge of your life, and you'll feel better. Your confidence will soar. You may be able to get off all your medications. You'll be able to do things and get your life back.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, life is a very special place, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a special place to be. Thank you so much for coming
You're
on the show.
welcome.
I hope you'll come
Thank
back
you.
sometime. Pat?
Be patient with yourself. You didn't gain the weight overnight. I like to say the fat fairy didn't come and zap you during the night. So it's going to take you a while to lose it. People will say, I only lost a half a pound. That's 26 pounds a year. So, you know, you have to, and you also have to make small goals if you have a lot of weight to lose. And we also welcome people who haven't gained their weight yet, who are feel they're starting to gain weight. They can come and keep from gaining weight. They can join at their goal weight.
Prevention planning.
Yes, because, you know, as things change in your life, you may begin to have a problem you never had before.
Well, that's the truth. Somebody write that down. Life just keeps coming. It just keeps
Thank
coming.
goodness.
And I, for one, am very grateful that we have people in our community like you two ladies. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
Dad, for
you.
coming on my show. I
And we
hope
would
you
be
come
happy
back.
to come anytime.
That would be great. I'm sure we're going to get a lot of good feedback about your visit with us. And thank you for joining us. This is Dr. Julia Bain. Until next time, be happy and be well.
This has been Employee Health Services Mind, Body, and Spirit. For more information, call the City of Albuquerque's Employee Health Services at 768-4613. Let the Employee Health Services staff let you be your best at work, at home, and at play.